Hello, everybody. Got people on early again. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys being on. We'll get started here in a little bit.
Use the word stretch. We're going to talk a little bit about that and explain to you guys what that means. And we're going to look at some big leaguers and just kind of dissect what their swing looks like and what key points we should be looking for and trying to feel in our own swing. So I'm going to share my screen here. And there we go. All right. So you guys should be seeing my blast page here. Let's let it load, go back to the first page. So for you guys that are using Blast, and I know not everybody on here has a Blast Center, which is fine. I think it's still valuable for you to understand what this stuff means and kind of, because if you're one of the young kids that doesn't have it, you're going to have it here in the next year or two. So it's really, really important that you guys are understanding what all this stuff means. So I'm not going to dive too deep into the data and what it all means because I did another video on that probably a couple months ago now. But so this is what I see every single day. This is every player in our organization that's using Blast. So I set the date from March 1st to March 31st. So here are all the swings all these guys took in the month of March. So this is just 25 guys. But as you can see, we got a lot of guys getting swings. And hopefully you saw the inbox message today. We our first monthly competition finished, and here are the winners for those. Most swings, Trevor Johnson ran away with it, as you can see. He edged out Brandon by about 1,600 swings. That's a big gap between first and second. So everybody else is going to have to step it up if Trevor's setting that pace. He's on Brandon Taylor's 2024 team. So highest average rotational acceleration is Brendan Anderson. He edged out Chase Cruson. So Chase was going for three stickers here, but Brendan has an outstanding rotational acceleration. So rotational acceleration is telling us how quickly you get up to top speed. Now, this is really, really important from what I've kind of found is that at this level of baseball, rotational acceleration is a big differentiator between the really good hitters and the average hitters. So obviously the guys that get up to top speed quickly means that they can see a pitch longer, they can make a decision later, which means they're going to make better decisions because balls that look like strikes and end up being balls, they're taking. Guys that have low rotational acceleration need to start their swing earlier because it takes a long time to get to top speed, which means that they have to make a decision early. So those pitches that look like strikes end up being balls. The guys with high RA they're taking those for balls. The guys with low RA are swinging at those, but they're out of the strike zone. So that's super crucial. Brendan won that one, 19.0 Gs. I believe the major league average is around 17. So obviously that's pretty good. Highest overall swing quality. So you guys can see here, plane, connection, and rotation are the three big data points. Plane, connection, and then rotation. It's behind my camera here, but it's there. So plane is telling us how well your bat stays through the strike zone. Connection's telling us how well you're controlling the barrel through that strike zone. Rotation is essentially telling us how quickly and how fast this bat is accelerating and moving through the zone. So those three things are what we're looking at. So to get the average score, I took the average of these scores that Blast gives these guys. And our top three for the month were Chase Cruson, 66.3. Rick sent me a couple, Chase's dad sent me a couple pictures of some of his swings where he almost got triple 80s. That's insane. Okay, 80 across the board. Average though, 66.3. So Connor Keys, 60.3. Noah, 56.7. Awesome job to those guys. And then highest OPE. When I was at the ABCA convention in Nashville, I sat in with Blast. I sat in with some Power 5 conferences, schools, coaching staff, and they were just sitting they're all using Blast. They're asking Blast what all that stuff means, what they should be looking for. And they said through all the millions of swings they've taken, the number one determining factor for youth levels of baseball on whether or not they're going to have success is actually bat speed, believe it or not. Okay, I hadn't paid much attention to bat speed, but it makes sense. At youth levels, if you have bat speed, doesn't matter, how great of a baseball player you are when you're in Little League. If you have bat speed, you're going to be able to hit. Okay. If you don't have bat speed, you really can't hit at any level. Now, at elite levels, the number one determining factor for success is on-plane efficiency, or OPE. You can see I put right there. On-plane efficiency is telling us it's actually taking into consideration our vertical bat angle, okay, and how consistent your vertical bat angle is staying through the zone. If we have a swing where our vertical bat angle is changing as we swing, we know that your bat's not staying out through the zone and it's cutting across or up through or some other direction other than out through. So it gives you a percentage of how well you stay out through the zone. Now, the reason that's the number one determining factor for success at elite levels and not bat speed is because at elite levels, everybody is bat speed. OPE then becomes a determining factor. It's kind of like when you throw 92 in high school, you dominate high school hitters, but when you get to college, that velocity isn't what makes you have success. Everybody throws hard in college, hard. Okay. Other things need to happen for you to have success. Same thing with hitting. Everybody's bat speed. Other things need to happen. Chase, again, 94%, which is through the roof. Bo Conrad, 83%. Will Moore, 80%. Okay. When I do these analysis for these guys, anything under 80%, I mark as yellow. Yellow on my analysis just means that it's an area of focus, right? 80 and above, though, you're green, you're good. We don't need to necessarily focus on that, but obviously it's still important. They're just where they need to be. All these guys are in that zone. Now, for this past month, there was a minimum of 400 swings to be entered into this contest. But I changed that because I know last week we talked about 30 swings a day. 30 swings a day, and you're going to be able to stay kind of in game shape, even though we're not playing games. You're going to be in shape. So 30 swings a day for a whole month. Let's just say 30 days. Okay. Anybody, in the chat, let's see if you guys are staying on top of your math. Somebody tell me how many swings would be 30 swings in 30 days, every day for 30 days. How many swings is that? Come on. Somebody has to be on top of their math. There we go. Gavin Weeks, 900. He was first. Sorry, guys. We got a bunch of math whizzes in here. Cool. Good job, Gavin. All right, so 900 swings. That's the minimum for you to be entered into one of these contests. We had a few guys in here with a high OPE, but they didn't have 400 swings. That's not going to cut it. Okay, I'm not rewarding people for taking 35 swings in a month and having a 92% on-plane efficiency. Okay, 900 swings. It means you're getting your work in, we're focusing, and we're doing what it takes daily. And that's what it's all about. So, all right, so let's actually get into some actual hitting mechanics and that type of stuff here. So let's close my camera so I can see my screen. All right, so by the way, I don't know how this blue mark ended up here, so we're gonna have to ignore that. So everybody that has Blast sees this page here. Your name should be right here. When you click on it, it should probably just be your data that's up on here. I can see everybody in the organization, but you should just be able to see yours. So you'll have the same tabs up here, analysis. Now, go to your media library. You guys don't need to do this now, but I'm just saying when you get on blastconnect.com, log into your account, go to your media library. There are going to be some videos on here that I believe are shared with everybody. If they're not, send me a message and let me know, and I'll do that, or at least figure out how to do that. But I'm uploading videos. I'm doing analysis. And for individual players that send me videos, here's Michael Woodard, who sent me a video, and I did a video analysis for him. And I compared him to Michael Conforto here. So this is a really, really cool thing. And for guys that don't have Blast, this is how I'm doing video analysis for you guys as well. So remember, we have that form on Diamondsoft. Make sure if you want a video analysis, email me a video, fill out that form, and I'll do a video analysis for you in comparing you to some big leaguers. So let's dive into a couple big leaguers here. And again, if anybody, obviously I stole my videos off of Instagram, so hopefully there's no copyright infringement here. But guys in the chat, if you know who this player is, let me know. I want to see who knows their baseball, guys. I got to find my chat. There we go. There we go. Good job. Everybody knows this, right? Anthony Sedano, helicopter. I don't know exactly what that means, but Christian Yelich, good job. All right, so let's break down Yelich here. So here, and I'm going to point out kind of my main coaching points of emphasis for you guys, because Yelich, I use Yelich almost every single lesson I do, just because the things he does so well are really, really obvious, and I like to be able to use them because we can see it. So first and foremost, I talk a lot about the rubber band, okay? Now, when I talk about the rubber band, what I'm talking about is a rubber band from your front foot to your back elbow. Okay, front foot to back elbow. Now, this is what is typically called the load. I call it the stretch, okay, because I want you to stretch the rubber band. So front foot to back elbow. There is a specific reason why it's not front foot to hands, and here's why. If we use hands to load, or we have what I call a hand dominant load, what that does is it creates space between my body and my hands. Okay, so if I'm loading with my hands, and I don't know if you guys can see my picture here. I'm kind of doing this. I'm going to put the screen back on me here in a second. But if I load with my hands are working away from the shoulder and creating space. The more space I have, the slower I'm going to turn. So I always ask a lot of kids if they've ever watched figure skating. Okay, figure skating is a good example. Most kids say no, but then they can answer all my questions, so I know they're lying. They've seen figure skating. So figure skaters, when they want to spin really, really fast, what do they do with their arms? They tuck them in. When they tuck their arms in, they're aerodynamic. They can spin fast. When they want to slow down, they open their arms back up, and their legs and feet. Now they slow down. They can control their spin. Okay. Same kind of thing's going to happen in our baseball swing. The more space I create, the harder it's going to be to accelerate quickly. We need to accelerate fast. Going back to Blast here, rotational acceleration. If we have a ton of space here, our rotational acceleration is going to be slow. If I'm tight to my body, and when I say tight, I'm not talking about clenched muscles, squeezed muscles. I'm talking about eliminating space. That's tight, okay? Eliminating space. Now, So back to our rubber band here. Back elbow to front foot. So this back elbow to front foot, we need to load our upper body with our back elbow. So in other words, we need to be tightening our scap, getting connected through our scap. For those of you that haven't heard scap before, I'm talking about the shoulder blade. Tightening up the shoulder blade as we reach forward with our front foot. So let's watch Yelich do it here. Okay. Look how his elbow's reaching rearward as his foot is working forward. Okay. It's like it's like poetry with Yelich. Okay. Now this is going to do a couple things for us. Now, and Coach Gowdy has been sending out hitting tips and focuses. And he was talking about the stance, and what he said in that email that he sent was the stance affects everything, right? If we don't have a good starting position, and I'm going to consider this our starting position, if we don't get into a good position here, we're never going to get to a good position here at contact. Okay? So the biggest mistake I see from young kids is that instead of stretching our weight forward like Yelich, reaching back with the rear elbow, reaching forward with the front foot, as you can see, all his weight is behind his front foot and in this back hip. He has a strong connection right here. The biggest mistake I see with young kids is these hips come shifting forward, the body comes shifting forward, and when that foot comes down, the weight is not behind the front foot, it's on top. Okay, so I like to think of the weight being inside this front foot, not spread out across our entire foot. The second all that weight, as our swing launches, shifts over top, or in other words, this knee shifts over top of this front foot, we've lost connection in our back hip. Now, in the chat section again, if I were to ask you guys, you players, I know you dads and moms like to answer too, but I want to talk to the players here. You players, if I were to ask you where a majority of our power is coming from, would you say our upper body or lower body? Upper body or lower body? Good job, Christian. I like the name. Good job, guys. Lower body, 100%. Okay. If we do the swing correctly, our lower body is driving our swing, and our upper body is along for the ride. Okay, so if our lower body is driving the swing, then I somehow keep drawing all over this. I don't know how. Like I said, our upper body. Sorry, I got a little thing here in front of I got to move this out of the way. There we go. All right, so our lower body needs to be driving our swing. So that means that energy is transmitted from the ground up our rear leg, through our hip, through our back, into our scap. That scap needs to be a strong connection point, and then the scap transfers that energy through our arms and out the end of the bat. So another, Coach Gowdy also sent out an email talking about kinematic sequence. So there's a piece of technology out there called K-Motion, and what it does is it tells us the sequencing of our body. Sequencing means what order are the different parts of my body firing, and it's measuring what parts of our body is getting up to top speed first. So there's a sensor that goes in kind of on your waistline in the middle of your back, up here between your shoulder blades, one on your front arm, front elbow, one on your front hand. And what our sequencing should be, almost every single elite major league hitter has the sequencing of hips reach top speed first, okay, then torso reach second, then lead arm third, then hands are the very last thing to speed up. If we allow ourselves to shift our weight forward, I shouldn't even play Yelich while we do this because he does it almost nearly perfectly. But if my hips shift forward, now my hands and lead arm are the first thing to accelerate, which means we have late hip turn. And if I have late hip turn, you guys just answered, where's all our power coming from? The lower half. If our lower half is starting after our hands, obviously this isn't driving the swing. We're not using this efficiently. Now we're just using our hands, our upper body to hit. And you guys said it yourself. Lower body provides all the power, which is exactly right, but that doesn't happen if our weight shifts to our front side to start our swing. We need to be able to launch our swing off our backside, which is why our rubber band is so important. That right there is extremely important. All right, so I'm going to bring you back to my screen here, or at least try to. Let's see here. I'm a rookie on this apparently, even though I've done 5 of them so far. You guys put in the chat. Are you guys on my video, or are you on my screen here? Still on my desktop. Say desktop or video. No. Okay. Well, I might not be able to bring it back. So anyway, here is what we need to work on. Okay. So here's the drill that I do all the time with my guys. That is super important. So we'll still use Yelich here. When we start with this drill, okay, I call it our stretch drill. Exactly what we've been talking about, and very self-explanatory. Stretch drill. We're going to start with our feet close together, almost touching, okay? So about 3 or 4 inches apart. I want you to have athletic knees and a hinge in our waist. Hinge in our waist just means I have good posture. My chest is kind of slightly forward over my toes, but I'm not letting my back round forward. I'm keeping my back flat, okay? Keeping my back flat. So I still have belief in myself that I'm going to get my screen back up on here, but I don't know exactly how. So chest is going to be slightly forward, hips are pushed back, my chest is over my toes. Now, I want my upper body to set up like I normally do in my stance. Then from there, with my feet close together, I'm going to reach my front foot forward while pulling my elbow back at the same time. Now, if we do this correctly, and you watch Yelich here, now Yelich, I want you guys to understand this. Forward move is not bad, okay? But it has to be controlled. That's the key. Controlled forward move. Yelich is not falling. Yelich is not lunging. He's stretching his weight forward. So if you can imagine this front foot is the dominant force in his stretch. This back elbow and this back hip is resisting to keep his body back. Okay, so if that's the dominant force here, his front foot, it's trying to pull him forward, but he's staying stacked in this backside. He's staying connected in that backside. So a little bit of forward move is good, but our front foot has to reach out in front of us. Every single major leaguer, guys, their front foot reaches out in front of them if they're on time. I'm not talking about off-time swings here, okay? And as you can see, that back hip turns him first. His barrel's going to launch rearward, behind the ball, home run, okay? So the drill again, feet close together, athletic in our knees, chest hinged forward, hips hinged back, and as we stretch the front foot forward, the rear elbow works back. I'm trying to eliminate as much movement with my torso and body forward as possible. Let's see here. So actually, I'm going to call on somebody here in a second. I got to ask them if it's okay first before I call on somebody. So does anybody have any questions here? Please put any questions that you have. All right. All right. So that's honestly every single lesson I do. Elite level player, 6-year-old. I do that lesson or that drill with them the first thing, because if we don't get to this position with our foot reach forward and our elbow reach back, connected through our back hip, we're not going to swing effectively or in proper sequence. So that drill, feet close together, reach the front foot forward, pull the elbow back. Do not let your upper body and your head lunge forward. Keep it behind that front foot. So I'm going to call him Coach Gowdy here. Coach Gowdy has, he was sending me some insight here on what we're talking about. And he's a great hitting coach, another hitting perspective. So, Coach, you're unmuted now. So just tell everybody what you were kind of messaging me there and what you're talking about.
Hey, guys. So if you look at Yelich right now, when he gets the foot strike, a good check for you on your scap load would be where your hands are from a side view in relation to your elbow. Your elbow should be going back towards your spine when you load your scap, and think about your scap pinching your spine. And at that point, if you have a good scap load, your hands will be even or slightly behind your elbow from the side view.
So I actually have let me bring up another video here, because I have a video of a hitter from the behind view where you can really see that. I just got to find it here in a second. But so guys, honestly, here it is. I don't know if I ever talked about my scap once in my playing career. And trust me when I tell you, I wish so bad that I did, because it's so, oh wait, you're not going to see it in this video, but it is a good video to see what scap connection looks like. Guys, the scap is so huge. Okay, like I said, I only thought about that when I was throwing or pitching and talking about arm care. But this right here, this move, front foot's reaching forward, rear elbows pulling back. As you can see, it's not a big move at all. Okay, it's not a big move. We're not trying to have a huge load here. We're just trying to tighten the muscles that we need to tighten, remove slack, so that when my brain tells me to swing, my bat gets moving. If my brain tells me to swing and my body has to move before my bat moves, that 92-mile-per-hour fastball is blown by us. Okay, the reason these guys can handle 98 is because they got no slack in their swing. They have no lag time, and lag time is what I call the time that in between your brain telling you to swing and your bat moving. That's lag time. These guys have minimal to none. Okay, so scap tight. As he starts his swing, he keeps that scap connection right there. He's not letting his hands fly forward. Okay, his hands are turning that barrel. Now as he's connected, this is essentially what gets us inside the ball. We're connected, we're tight to our body. Now we can turn our barrel in our body. I guess we're going to stop through that.
Can you go to contact there?
Yep.
Christian?
Yep.
So just to add something, so when Coach was talking about stretching that rubber band, right there, if you do it correctly, that's where it snaps, right at contact, that rubber band. You have two anchors. Your top anchor is your scap, and your bottom anchor is your front leg. So what happens there at contact is your front leg then becomes firm, where it had bend in it. Now it firms up right at contact, and that becomes an anchor at that point, and the rubber band snaps right at contact if we're on time and we do it correct.
Right.
And that's where you're going to maximize what you can do as a hitter. The more often you can do that.
No doubt. And you hear guys talk about bat whip, right? If my body is sliding forward, my hips are shifting forward as I'm swinging, we don't get that whip because that barrel's dragging into the zone, right? We want to be able to keep the more my body shifts forward, the more I drag, the more I can keep, like Yelich here, keep my body behind that front foot. It's going to allow us to whip the barrel into the zone and through the ball instead of drag it. Okay, so and again, it all starts with that stretch of the rubber band, scap connection, and connection through that backside. So great stuff, Coach Gowdy. I appreciate it. We need to do this together more often here. So guys, that is what I always start with kids, and hitting can be controversial. There are certainly many different views. If anybody on here follows hitting Twitter, you would know exactly what I'm talking about. There's some idiots out there that just like to make fun of and demean other people based on their views on hitting. I don't know that there are too many people that could argue this right here, right? I mean, as far as just scap connection and stretching forward. What's beautiful about today's game is that there's so much technology, so much video and analysis and everything that 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have this stuff, and it was just hitting theory, right? We didn't really know exactly what's going on in elite level hitter swings. Now with K-Motion and Blast and Hit Tracks and Rapsodo, we know exactly what's going on. That's why everything's players are getting so much better. Pitchers are getting better. Hitters are getting better. Coaches are getting better. Youth players are getting better. It just keeps going. So pay attention to this stuff. There's certainly new ways to teach hitting. I encourage you to, if you have a coach that is kind of, let's say, old school, listen to them, pay attention, try to learn from them. I would say I'm fairly new school as far as hitting goes. Listen, pay attention, try to learn from this. Okay, I had so many different hitting coaches throughout my career, and I learned something from every single one of them because I stayed coachable. I never shut anybody out because I didn't agree. I wanted to learn from them. Your coaches are going to have your best interest in mind. They're not trying to mess you up. If he's trying to teach you something that might be a little different than what you believe or what your hitting coach back home has been working on, that's fine. That's good. You're going to learn your body. You're going to learn your swing way better than if you just weren't coachable and just kind of brushed him off to the side, just did your own thing. Okay. Listen and learn and find out what works for you. But here's what I'll say about this stuff. I had a hitting coach pretty much my whole career until I got to college. And then of course I had my college coaches. And I had really one specific way to hit, but there are a lot of holes in my swing. I couldn't handle the inside pitch, and I was slicing balls to right field. Because I was a strong physical kid, I got to play at a high level, but once I got to that level, I started to get exposed really quickly. Actually, in college, my junior year at Penn State, we got a hold of our scouting report of us, and I read through mine. It says, hard in, can't handle inside fastball, soft away when you're ahead in the count. Okay? And I'm like, shoot, they got me figured out. Guys, if we have major holes in our swing, they're going to get exposed quickly. They might not get exposed in high school. Mine didn't get exposed in high school. In college, they did. I had to make adjustments. Now, this stuff I'm talking to you about, I did not learn till literally the last 3 months of my baseball career. I had a couple of teammates. Bobby Barrels was one of them. Robert Paller's his name. He's known as Bobby Barrels. He's kind of well-known hitting Twitter guy. And then Hunter Wood's another one who I played professionally with. Those guys were unbelievable teammates and knew this stuff really, really well. And I've never heard anything that made more sense to me in my life, right? It was all started clicking. And then as I started teaching it, it really started making sense. Like it was like a puzzle. I was putting all the pieces together. Now, I'm not trying to say I got it all figured out, but I am saying I've learned a lot of different things throughout my baseball career. And what I teach now, no doubt in my mind, makes the most sense in what I can see and what I can feel when I see these big leaguers doing this stuff. So, again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I did a lot of wrong things throughout my career, and that's why I feel confident that I have a good grasp on what is going to help you guys get to the next level. So, guys, that's really all I got for you. Coach Gowdy, do you have anything else?
Now, I think I just expand on that, guys. I'm an older coach. I've been coaching for a long time. I probably heard, saw, been told a bunch of different things, and I'm always trying to learn something new. And I would agree with Christian. I've learned a lot, actually, just from being able to access video and see things slowed down, 3D and 2D, that it makes a lot of sense. And this, what Christian was showing you tonight, is key. It is key to be successful, especially if you want to be successful at a very high level. It is key. So You guys work on it, figure it out, but if you can, it's going to help you. You'll see the results.
Awesome. Thank you, Bill.
Mhm.
All right, guys. So real quick, blast. You blast guys. If you have the blast app open while you're hitting with your sensor and you take a video, that video will be uploaded into the system. You can then fill out the form requesting an analysis. And guys, I know there's a lot of them on there. I'm catching up on them. Coach Gowdy actually offered to help me do those, so I think I'm going to take him up on that because I want to get them back to you guys. It's taking some time, but video analysis doesn't take quite as long as a data analysis. Say you want a video analysis, upload the swing, tell me what day that the swing was taken, and I can go in there and make sure that you get your analysis done. And I can compare you to Yelich or whoever, or you could even request who you'd like to be compared to. And again, for those that don't have Blast, you can do the same thing. You just have to email me the video, and then I'm going to email you the analysis back to you. So make sure we're taking advantage of that, especially this time of the year. Or I shouldn't say this time of the year. We're normally playing this time of the year. But this time in what's going on when you guys are home, take this opportunity to get better and learn. Here are the gold helmet stickers that winners of the competitions are getting. I don't know if you can see my screen. They're really cool. They look amazing on their royal blue helmets. Guys, blast guys, try to win those stuff. Have a little competitiveness. You have to go outside and hit acorns with a wooden bat to try to get your swing numbers up. Do it. Okay, I want to see some competitions. I don't want Trevor winning by 1,600 swings again. I want a close race to the finish. So, guys, thank you so much. That's all I got for you. Do not hesitate to send me questions, Coach Gowdy questions, to our emails or inbox on Diamonds Off. We're here to help you guys, help you get to the next level, and ultimately reach your potential. So that's all I got for you guys. Good night. Thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow night again. So you'll get some inbox messages. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.